What's up? Now, bear with me because I'm in the middle of a trade. So let me breathe, bro. Let me breathe. Okay? Peace. As I finish this up, let me know what you guys are looking at today. If you want to just quickly check, one thing I'm very interested in right now is this this Bitcoin break here. I'm watching that. Careful now. Crypto might be waking up. Careful. Guys, gold is going crazy this morning. Gold is going crazy this morning. What's up, Warlord? I see you out there. All right, so if we look at today, so far, just to kind of give you an idea of, there's the minutes today at 11 o'clock PST. I do everything in PST, sorry. So minutes are usually kind of whatever. We got some earnings that nobody cares about. Again, nothing really this week that's too notable. Mixed markets, NASDAQ about to turn green. Gold up almost 4%. Silver up almost 4%. Copper up. There was some news this morning when I think Besant or the Treasury, I don't think it was like that notable for let me go find it. It was like a increase in the potential like buybacks of long end coupons or something like that. They doubled it from 2 billion to 4 billion, which seems like minuscule. Let me go find it real quick. The Treasury announces increased size of nominal long end. U.S. Department of Treasury is increasing by at least double the size of liquidity support buyback operations for long-dated nominal coupons, 10-year, 20-year, 20-year, 30-year. Current maximum size of $2 billion per operation will be at least $4 billion. Effective September 9th. Yeah. Reflects the Treasury's desire to provide greater liquidity support, blah, 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 blah. Does it? It's like the signal, right? It's like the signal of it seems more important than the actual number. And And I think gold has responded to that. I mean, this came out this morning and you could see, let's go check out gold's chart here. Second. I mean, we had looked at this chart a little bit. Like, I kind of got out of my gold trade right around here, kind of been waiting. Just generally speaking, not really sure. But now I'm gonna be a little bit more optimistic moving forward on gold here. I think this was pretty strong signal, pretty strong break. So I'll be looking for interesting points to get in there. But that is very strong move today. Off that news. Let's go look at try to see where it came. This was this morning. Guys, gold is moving like crazy right now. So we love to see. We love to see it. So guys, I actually just finished up. Before I hopped on stream, I recorded a video on scaling up and trading. Which I'm excited about. Basically, the gist of it is that, and it's something I've talked about before, especially we've talked about it on the other live stream with Global Flows, is this idea that we're always trying to like pull forward time. We're trying to pull forward expectations when trading, right? And that could be very non-beneficial to your trading career if you're trying to make everything happen fast, because so many people come into the markets for the reason of thinking it's an easy way to make money, when in fact, like everything in life, it's usually the opposite. It is one of the hardest ways to make money. One of the worst things that could happen is for you to win early and win often, and then size up and then realize, oh, either things were just becoming very fortunate, brought fortunately to me, and that I actually don't know what I'm doing, or it's just all pure luck, or whatever it may be. Because if you win too much too fast and you don't have a strategy that's actually great or workable, or a framework, that strategy will die. All trades go to their death. It's whether or not you can consistently find new opportunity and believe deep down that you can find that opportunity that'll keep you going forward. So one of the worst things that I see happen is somebody wins early. You'll see in crypto a lot. And then they'll spend the next year giving it all away. Then they'll be left with a decision. Well, do I need to figure it all out? Do I need to figure out how to actually win? Because it is actually really hard. And then carve their bottom and kind of come out the other side. Or did they give it all back? Blame manipulation, blame the game, blame the markets, and never come back again. And that's what happens to a lot of people. It's normal. Lao Tao thinking. Lao Tao. Lao Tu. What are those purple covers on your headphones? I don't know. They're just you could buy them. They're like little my like normal Bose covers were ripping to shreds after so long that you could just buy replacement ones and stick them in there. Also, my favorite color is purple. Underrated color, you know? So yeah, be on the lookout for that video. I'm going to edit it this afternoon, get it up there. But honestly, like, so going back to that, like, people still underestimate how fast you could scale up in trading. Like, dude, just trade with one lots if you're trading futures. Trade with $100 if you're trading stocks. Like, the difference between $100 and $1,000 in these markets is nothing. It's nothing. It's not going to change your life either way. So like, and it's not going to influence price, or people aren't going to notice you or anything like that. So you might as well just trade with barely anything and prove to yourself that you're a winning player. Doesn't take much. That way, if you're not losing that much in the meantime. And then once you are, sure, you're losing a little bit, but then you could just scale up. Yeah, micros are a good idea, Bodan. Like, those came out. Those are good. But again, just trade the right markets. Like, even if you're trading micros in the NASDAQ, it can catch up with you. But I'm saying, like, oh, it's got an alert. What was that? Ooh, Bitcoin crossing 65.5. Nice. Let's see. I like this reclaim in Bitcoin here. This reclaim of this channel. Like, to me, it's a big deal. Tell you, we could break 66 to 68,000 here and get above the 200-day. Like, I think it's time. I think people are going to be front running enough of their bullshit cycle stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. Especially if gold keeps ripping. Now, this is where I get interested. We talked about this yesterday, right? I said if Bitcoin can break 66, 67K, get momentum to the upside, I think you're going to see a crypto-wide ecosystem push. And you're starting to already see it here. I mean, just look on the right, yeah? And Ethereum, I think, can lead that. If Ethereum can break here above, well, let's call it 2,000. That gets it above the 200-day. All of a sudden, people are like, oh, wait, Ethereum. But a lot of people won't want to buy Ethereum. They'll buy a lot of beta to it. You know, and then I think all the coins have a 20, 30, 40, 50% run in them, all the smaller ones, for like a week, you know, as long as the risk stays on. So I got a couple coins in mind that I really like. Pepe has been one that's been underperforming, but I've just been really hoping, like, if ETH could break, like, I want to put on a Pepe trade as like a trebuchet play, beta to the beta, if you will. You got Strategy pumping 10% today after having a bad day. We talked about all of those. Circle up 10%. So I don't know if like the exemption stuff that we saw yesterday too, like we saw a lot of, oh, did I save it? Did I save it? Hold on. See, I don't know. Some weird stuff happened yesterday. You had Vlad put out this tokenized stocks in America article. You had Trade XYZ and Hyperliquid Strategies do it. Let me see if the SEC one was there. I think it was Paul Atkins. Yeah.
The crypto capital of the world. For too long, issuers and investors had to navigate an activist SEC weaponized against this asset class. The result has been uncertainty and inefficiency, chasing crypto asset innovation outside of the United States. So today, I'm excited to announce that the SEC is taking the most historic step yet to modernize federal securities regulations for crypto assets. The United States must and will lead. Our new rule proposal, Regulation Crypto Assets, will ensure that we do. Now, let me be clear. The SEC continues to support congressional work on the Clarity Act, and we expect to see the bill reach the president's desk. Under our current statutory authority, we are acting. The work before us is too important. The Commission's March 2026 interpretation explained how a non-security crypto asset may become subject to, and how it may cease to be subject to, an investment contract, which is a security under law. Regulation Crypto Assets provides issuers of those investment contracts with a clear path to comply with federal securities laws within those parameters. Today's proposal sits at the center of this Commission's capital formation agenda and is essential to providing a framework for crypto asset fundraising. It is the Commission's answer to the question that has puzzled innovators since the birth of the blockchain. How can I raise capital to develop a crypto asset while I am still working to develop the network where it will be used? While Congress continues its important work to advance crypto market structure legislation for the president to sign, the world and our markets keep evolving. By moving forward with our current statutory authority, we can help ensure that America remains the world's premier destination to innovate, to raise capital, and to build the next generation of financial infrastructure.
So I think that's great. From what I understand, it just seems like it's going to drive at least people coming back and getting reinterested in the possibility of building on chain. You can move more money in there, create more interest. Telling you, it's just like all it takes is one good story. You know, I can't get out of my head this Jeremy Giffen. See if I can find it here. This interview really shifted my perspective on storytelling. And let's see here. So this interview with Jeremy Giffen on Invest Like the Best was fantastic. Highly recommend going to see it. or watch it, because the idea of like this $1 billion PDF is beautiful, and it, to me, it just shows how powerful a message can be from even just one person if it kind of goes viral, and it can move billions and billions of dollars. A couple of examples of this was like the Citrini piece that everybody, the Citrini think piece, I should say, where it was like a doomer article, right? People loved it. The other one is situational awareness with Leopold Aschenbrenner, right? Let's see if he talks a little bit about it here.
Can you describe what you mean by that and what the interesting components of a $1 billion PDF tend to be?
This was sort of an idea that you and I came up with in a joking way that like kind of turned out to be true, I think, the more we thought about it, which
Actually, you know what? I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I don't know if I'm supposed to share video. So you could go watch it yourself. Everything in capital markets is downstream of algorithms. Invest like the best. Jeremy Giffen. Go listen to 5 minutes 50 seconds of the $1 billion PDF. You're starting to see a broad push here in crypto. So that's something I'm interested in. Lau, for the thing that you're seeing on my screen, I can't tell you much about that. Maybe theoretically in a little while, we'll be able to. But for now, that's proprietary. But stay tuned. It may not be for long. But those are order books. Order books for futures trading. That's where I live and breathe. You asked what tools I use. Honestly, I don't use too many tools, man. I don't like tools. I like simplicity. I like just looking at some charts, looking at Twitter, thinking about things, watching order books, synthesizing everything together and coming up with trade ideas. It's really what I like. I don't have any specific tools. I don't even know what tools are really helpful, because you could tell me 10 different tools. I don't know how they will really help me. What does that mean? What's a tool? Tell me some tools. A back testing tool? Fuck out of here. I don't want to back test. I only look forward, baby. Havard bought some MSTR. Why? Tell me why. Kind of a strategy fan, but like, tell me why you bought it. What was it? What about it? Is it that Bitcoin's on our move? Liquidation heat map for 3 months on Bitcoin. It looks like it has some potential upside here. You know, if you want to believe that this isn't going to get taken out near 61, 60K or whatever, I think a lot of people would say they want to see that take it out, but you never know. You never know. We could just go up. We have this next big liquidation level around 67.4. If we get moving, I expect it to go to at least that. What would be savage is if we go take that out and then move back down. So yeah, I mean, I think that's why I say, like, if we get above this level, that we have clear runway to like the upper 70s, honestly. Do you frequent black speech? Maybe. What do you want the answer to be, buddy? 'Cause I know what you're saying. I think Bitcoin looks bullish and MSTR breaking out from the range. If it's a false breakout, I sell it. I think that's fine, actually. I think that's completely reasonable for a trade. Let's go take a look at it. Up 11% today. Yeah. I mean, the hate for strategy and everything, like regardless, like the hate is absolutely on fire right now for the AI slop that's going on there. We got to check something. I put in an order for strike earlier, but I don't think I got filled. Did not get filled. Shit. Yeah, and this is why I like Strike, because I think it can outperform Bitcoin on like a way up. It's got the MSTR embedded kind of call option. It's absolutely in shambles. It's a chart break. Nobody really understands what it is. It pays an 8% dividend that's now like an effective yield of 12% since it's $30 below par. The ex-dividend date is coming up mid-September. So I think if people think that, Bitcoin and strategy are going to survive for a little bit and we're moving to the upside and we have the ex-dividend date, people are going to realize like, oh, hey, this is probably a decent opportunity to get in there and at least run it up into the ex-dividend date. So kind of why I've been building a position in Strike. Now, not crazy. You know, there's still credit risk involved there and, you know, all that stuff. But that's why I like Strike. It feels to me like you're more of a wing trader than a day trader. If so, why is looking at order book important? Would look at order book only be helpful for short-term trading? Oh, you probably mean swing trader. I'm not a swing trader. I am a day trader. I was trying to be a swing trader. I am a swing trader. I guess I'm everything, right? I talked about this. I'm kind of in 3 buckets, right? I scalp for most of my trading is scalping short term. I like perps for swing trading. And then I like my long-term stuff, right? Strike is something I'm trying to build for the long term, right? Something like a Bitcoin perp break or something right now is something I want for like a swing. And then me trading gold intraday here is me scalping around, right? I don't try to be one thing. I don't try to bucket myself because I feel like I could take my experience and my, again, the word harness and bring it wherever I feel like could be helpful for me. So ETH on the move. Here we go. ETH just crossed 2,000. Bitcoin alert at 66.2. So yeah, we're starting to move, guys. We're starting to move. Another one is Zcash, right? This is another one that has a good kind of narrative story. A lot of people are sidelined. A lot of people don't understand what it is, why it's maybe important or not. I have a little bit of an allocation there. Just one that I'm comfortable with. So Lighter, by the way, I still think this chart is impeccable. And if they have some sort of lead in the regulatory race through Robinhood, through Vlad, through Ethereum Foundation, if there's any sort of clarity on perp dexes in America, like Lighter is going to candle hard and it's all going to make sense. You're going to look back and be like, oh, it was so obvious, right? You guys feel free to drop some other tickers, other things you're looking at. In the meantime, I'm going to work on setting up another screen to bring my buddy on in about 20 minutes here. Oh yeah, if you guys haven't seen Moderna, by the way, go check out the Moderna chart. I guess they are the first like cancer vaccine to have positive results in stage 3 clinical trials. I think Moderna's up like, let's go check real quick. I think it's up like 100% or something. Up 125% on the day. Which is, they are a... It's working. Trying to find their financials, but whatever. Get the point. Look at that. It's too bad I wasn't Eli Lilly. Because that's, I am long Eli Lilly. But that chart looks great too. Ooh. Don't put me on a bull run, guys. Don't put me on a bull run. I might just win. I might just win. By the way, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing this on the X or the YouTube, just dropping me a like or a comment or something. I would like to get it to where I can stream most days and chill and be an active community here. People popping in, talking about what they're looking at. It'll be great. I like this format. Please keep doing it. Thanks, man. I do too. Because I would just chill. I'd like to feel like I'm working around other traders, talking to other traders. You know, I like that. Again, if you guys like this sort of thing, please let me know, because I want to figure out how to, like, yeah, I want to keep it engaging or whatever, but I also want to just be able to trade. That way I could do the stream longer. It doesn't feel like as much pressure to like talk for 2 hours straight or something, right? What's up, GG? Bought back Ansem here. I just choose not to acknowledge any more downside if it happens. Yeah, Ansem's interesting, GG, because I like Ansem. I hold Ansem. It's like my soul play with Pump. But let me know what you think about his whole like launch pad and all that stuff. Because like I didn't mind it with Bullpen. I actually like Bullpen. I thought was a perfect thing to have, and like they could do something there. But it almost feels like now like they're doing another kind of weird moneymaker thing. It's like the whole bonks ecosystem, right? Like they're trying to build a lot of stuff on top of it. I'm not sure if it's going to work out. It might, just because of the presence and the market bubble and the fact that he's like the leading it might work, but like I kind of wonder if it rhymes with some of the stuff that didn't work once it left like being a meme. You know what I mean? Let's go take a look at that chart real quick. Uno momentum. There we go. Let me change the size of this chat real. Okay, and some chart. Yeah, so like, yes, like when they had that release, it's like they had this violent move upward and then it's like caved, and like that to me was not a great sign. Not a great sign. So I agree with you that there needs to be some momentum gained, or else I think it could just go all the way back to like that 180 million. So I don't know. It's like, do they have to keep doing stuff to keep, you know? And if we have this market-wide pump where everybody's like, oh, there's all these other things I've been looking for, I do wonder about it. But it's hard for me to not think they can't climb their way up to $1 billion. But that just might be optimistic thinking. It might be dumb. So I agree, GG. It's a little tough scene. That's why I kind of like Pepe. You know what I mean? Like, I think I need to go buy a little more Pepe now, actually. You know, because like Pepe has kind of been forgotten and had plenty of times where it ripped with ETH, if ETH actually rips, and like it's a pivotal moment for ETH here, right? Zoom it back out. Like, look at this, dude. I'm telling you, if the ETH ecosystem can like rip, you got so many charts that look good. ETH chart looks good. ETH BTC. Like, let's go look at ETH BTC. Sorry, guys. It's the day crypto's moving, so, like, I'm going to talk about crypto. You know what I mean? Can't help myself. Look at ETH BTC. Look at that. I mean, that looks fucking good. You get ETH BTC to rip, ETH to rip. Like, Pepe is just sitting there for the taking. And ETH whales love Pepe. GG. It definitely doesn't look good right now, but I think they find a way to really run it harder long term. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm going to be working on getting my buddy Brian up here to chat some prediction market stuff soon, but give me a minute. What happened to the dollar? Gold is really up. Gold is really up. What happened to the dollar? Where's the dollar at? Go take a peeky at the dollar. Yeah, dollar dumped. You know, we talked about this actually. Hold on a second. I talked about this in the dollar. All right, so we were ranging. We ripped up, and we were just sitting under the 200 week, and I was like, this feels like, you know, I think the administration really wants the dollar down. Like, it just felt like a spot where it was going to be a false breakout to the upside, which it seems like it was now. Now I think the dollar just dumps. Gold goes up, dollar dumps, Bitcoin finally moves. Stocks can chill for a while and slowly go up maybe. Maybe everything just chills in TradFi land and a lot of the attention can rotate elsewhere for once. For one fucking time in my life, you know? Rotate to my shit. All right. Second. Yeah, and the dollar M1 or whatever was I think that news this morning actually did have quite a bit of importance to it, a lot of signal. So that's probably what kind of inverse to gold there. I'd love to hear your full story of getting into trading and how you were able to do it full time. I know you've been in the markets for over a decade, but would be interested to hear more. Yeah, I actually did an interview a long time ago. I ran through the whole story. Let me see if I can find it for you. Let me see. Yeah, embrace the grind. Find it here. I got it. All right, so John Kurtz, I put in the chat a YouTube video a buddy did with me a while ago where I talk through my whole journey from like poker to trading and stuff like that. So, hey, can you hear me? Hold on. Brian, you could hear me. All right, give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna start trying to set this up. Okay, 1 second. All right, guys, I got my buddy Brian in the chamber, so I will get back to these comments after. But I'm gonna get him up on stage if I can do this correctly. I want to get him to be able to share his screen, so I'm trying to make this work in the background here. I'm gonna mute myself for a minute. All right, guys. I should have Brian up pretty effectively here. I'm going to try switching scenes over to that, and then I will be right back. All right. I believe we are live. Can you try talking?
What's up, guys? How you doing? Happy Wednesday.
All right. I do think that works. Guys, if you don't mind, just let me know if you could hear him. And then we'll go from there. God, this fucking squawk. There's so much stuff going on in the world right now. Crazy.
Do you see the thing? Being an adult is saying after this week, things will calm down every week until you die.
It's just saying, I just like to say it's a big week every week, you know?
Yeah.
Big week.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna assume they could hear you because it looks like that's the case. So, all right, guys, this is Brian Harrington. Okay, it says yes. So yeah, if you and I don't know if you could see me or whatever. If you want to pull up the stream or whatever, Brian. I don't know what on your side.
Yeah, I can see.
But
yeah, I have
okay.
it, and
Okay, cool.
we've got Kalshi on the screen. It's looking great.
Okay, cool. So nice. I met Brian through shit. What was it? Twitter? No, it wasn't Twitter.
Through YouTube. No, it was before the algorithm was working again on X. Yeah, it was because X was not working for networking for a good 3 years, and YouTube was working better. So the YouTube comments and then email.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, I commented on one of Brian's videos. I said, "Hey man, really like what you're doing. Like your shtick. You said you're in Temecula. That's an hour from me. Let's go get coffee." You know, as I would cold approach any man. You know, and
Right.
so we go get coffee, and I talked to him about the thought about like creating my own personal brand. He had a ton of advice for me on that, and sure enough, like I don't know if it's just like YouTube, because I do know the YouTube algorithm definitely changed in like 2025 or whatever it was, 2025, like to definitely benefit small accounts more. And for whatever reason, I know I'm a decent looking guy and I can yap, but like some of the videos just took off well in the trading space because I think people resonated with the idea that it wasn't like, oh, I'm just the best trader out here, come buy my course, right? It was a very much more like, hey man, just here's how tough it is out there, whatever. And those seem to resonate. And then I kind of hung out in your community a bit. And why don't you just tell everybody what you've kind of were focused on, and then like what you've been toying with as of late too.
Yeah. So when I first started talking about Bitcoin on the internet, it was probably 2016 or 2017, and I was watching a lot of YouTube, educating myself on Bitcoin. But 2016, 2017 was the first time I'd ever met Bitcoiners in person, and that was the first Bitcoin meetup that I'd ever gone to. There was like 7 of us in Orange County that met up to talk about Bitcoin. And that was the first 2 things happened on that. It was my learning of Bitcoin exploded, but it was also the first time I had like experienced my like the internet niche, like jumping into the actual meetup space and like creating friends off the internet in the niche that you're in the geography that you're in. So that then teed up, went on to run the largest West Coast meetup for Bitcoin in Anaheim, California. And we were meeting weekly, and we would have anywhere between like 30 to 60 people come out like on Thursday nights. That all leads into a bunch of good years on Bitcoin Twitter. But then when Jack Dorsey sold the platform and decided to fork the conversation onto Nostr, a generational own goal, by the way, I don't know why a Bitcoiner gave up control over the town square of where digital conversation was happening to start a niche open source project. it stopped working and I wasn't able to network with Bitcoiners anymore. At the same time, I was becoming older. I was like becoming a dad, becoming a homeowner, leveling up in my career. And that's when I went on to, I did product marketing for like back to back to back 3 different Bitcoin fintechs. The most recent one, I had just monetized my YouTube channel right before joining. And so it was basically like all the energy that I was using trying to meet Bitcoiners through Twitter and through the meetup page, I had funneled into YouTube because that was giving me like the raw organic was like more, I don't want to say fair because nothing is like manipulated or whatever. It was just like I was putting out information and receiving signal back and it was beginning to work. And so led to that. And then last August, I was laid off from the fintech that I was at, and basically I've uploaded 3 or 4 times a week for almost like getting close to a full year now. And I met you in your comment on literally like I think like month 1 of that. So the whole last year has been me, talking on YouTube, and then I've been very thankful that the X algorithm most recently came back, and I'm back in the groove of like meeting people in Southern California through X now, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, you came back to X with a vengeance. I can see that, just
Well, I've been
you can
training.
see it coming.
I genuinely feel like I've been training, like the YouTube muscle of like showing up and talking. Like I was ready. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, if I can yap, Brian can yap 3 times. Like he could go full like ad lib, one take Jake. And I can, whenever I try to go fully like, no script or whatever this is what I'm gonna talk about, I can't think like, what do you call that? Like I can't like fluidly think when I'm like trying to project and speak. Like I can't process the 2 things. So I forget to say like 10 things that I wanted to say. So I have to like write it out. I have to kind of chunk it down. And you just have the ability. I don't know if you just have like a notepad that has like a bunch of different little things you want to cover, and you just rip it.
Sometimes I do Notepad. More often than not, and people say this in the comments, like you can see I'll cut myself off. Like I'll cut myself off and go in a different direction, and it's more of a it's a constant conversation that I'm already having with myself anyways. So it's like there's constantly a conversation in my head between the old Bitcoin maximalist version of myself and the new income investor version of myself anyways, and both those guys are arguing with each other in my head all the time. And so YouTube is the expression of both of those guys arguing with each other. And to your point, now that I have like found this like small quant niche edge right now, my brain is waking up thinking about making money in the markets and thinking about making money on the system that I've built, and not about what would be a good hook, what would be a whatever. And like it's hard to do both. My brain is moving towards like trading right now.
Yeah. All right, so get us into trading. Why are you're not necessarily a trader, right? You're a personal finance guy, you're a Bitcoin guy, you're a builder in a sense, you're a networker. Why are you, what's on our screen and what are you doing?
Yeah. So here's jumping off from the first coffee that we were at, the niche that lined up the coffee a little bit was we both had the word Bitcoin and we both had the word real estate in our bios. And so that gave us this jumping off point. And I recently, having been laid off, like coming to terms with the like, can I make income from my investments? And so a lot of those early months were just reprogramming my brain on it's not all about growth, it's not all about growth, it's not all about growth, it's sometimes about income. And the concept of like, what is it like to like quote unquote live off your investments? And then you get into the like, 4% rule and like financial independent retire early, like those guys and the dividend snowball guys. And then you get into the like, no, just hammer it all into growth stocks and then sell off 4%. Like there's tension there. And so a lot of it, and then you have the whole like, is real estate good? Is it not good? Like, is it overhyped? You know, there's a lot of that. And you being, so me observing from you the kind of like the active trading side and the like, so me even getting comfortable with like quote unquote rebalancing, like as Bitcoin was going down like over the last 12 months, even me being comfortable with like I have this story of like I had like a quarter of a Bitcoin on Ledger, and it was just like Bitcoin sitting at like 97,000, and I remember like sitting at the table with you and being like, this is not good. Like this structurally does not look great. Like what is the reason why I shouldn't just swap this into USDC right now? Like and just working mentally and working over that, and thinking about income investing like over these years, or over this last year, has been the like personal story that I tell myself changing. And then that led to Kalshi. And here's the analogy about Kalshi. And I've talked to you about this with the poker analogy. I am okay. I would rate myself as an okay casual tournament poker player, because the time length dynamic of being able to like outlast people and judge tip sizes and like the time element of the game is, and the like leveling up of the blinds is like that time-based element and the outlasting of the other players. I have relative confidence that if 20 people are playing, I can be in the top 10 of a tournament poker setup, right? But going into a cash game, my confidence in what my optimal thing is that I should be doing goes way down. Layering that now over to crypto, perps, I don't know if I should click the up button or the down button. I don't know, because it's so open-ended. And the 15-minute markets on Kalshi provided me this time box to begin observing patterns and begin just, again, continuing to push myself on the active investing and the like quote unquote trading front. And so I ran a lot of my own experiments of manually trading the 15-minute markets on Kalshi using like just kind of using gut feel plus looking at the spot price. And I started to develop a hunch of how I believe the patterns was working and the relationship between the Kalshi contract prices and the spot prices. And then what happened, so in parallel, of course, everything over this last year has also had an AI element to it, right? Like everyone over this last year has been leveling up on their AI knowledge, or hopefully you have been and I went through my like ChatGPT just was what it was, but then it was like kind of getting old and boring. And so I stopped using ChatGPT and was just kind of just like trying to think on my own. And then when OpenClaw came out, OpenClaw kind of like reset the paradigm on like what an actual agent is. And it reset the paradigm on like, no, it's not just a new search engine. You can make it do things. So then I tried to use OpenClaw for a while and was trying to like build my own chief of staff or whatever. But then open source, like the open source nature of OpenClaw, you're just constantly fighting with bugs more than 60% of the time. So you're never able to like actually get done what you want to do. But then when OpenAI brought that guy in-house and pushed the new ChatGPT app for MacBook, Codex, and like Codex happened, and then 5.6 Sol happened. And that then allowed me to recreate the AI paradigm of like, I stopped trying to create an agent and I just was like, I am a software developer now. I adopted that mentality and I was like, I am a software developer now. Codex on the MacBook is my terminal and I can plain language tell it what to do. So I plain language told it to go grab the Kalshi API docs, and I fed it all of the information that I've been doing on the manual Kalshi observations that I've been doing. And me and the system combined, the same way Michael Saylor built Stretch, I worked with the system and was like, hey, this is what I believe is happening. What do you believe is happening? And what can we do together? And this is what we've done together so far. So like, look, like zooming all the way out, you can see this was like, so yeah, there we go. What's a good? You can see there was my little manual, up, down, up, and then there was my big string of down as I was trying to scale up manually. And then there was beginning to do the automation, beginning to learn about maker versus taker fees and like what I want to do. And then there was bam, it's on and running 24/7. So that's been the path. And then basically what I've been doing now is I just went and binged a bunch of apparently this is called quantitative trading or systematic trading. And I've just been binging every Audible book that I can on what that is to try to categorize myself of what I'm doing.
I love this chart because I was literally talking earlier about this idea that so many people try to pull time forward. They're like, oh, I want to be a professional Kalshi market maker quant guy now. And they basically like will spend way too much money, get in way too big of a hole, end up fucking it up and having that that June, July area on your chart. And then they'll say, it was stupid. There's no edge, like blah, 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 right? But when I look at that chart, I see, cool. Brian determined he wanted his tuition to be very inexpensive. And we had to talk about this, how like all you need to do is prove that you're winning and then you can scale fast, right? Like, and you've done that over time. You went down, you dug yourself a hole, but what was that hole? $250? Like $250 or something like that, 270.
Was
So like,
yeah, look, July, yeah,
so
87.
no harm, no foul. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, no harm, no foul. You learned a lot, but you didn't really lose much, and it's not affecting your life. You could have easily blasted away 10K, 20K, something like that. You could have done that, but you didn't, right? You just played for small ball, $5, $6, whatever, until you had a provable strategy that over hundreds of trades was starting to net out. Now you could take that strategy, start to slowly scale up until that win rate drops below whatever determinant, right? And now something's working, you're scaling, and it's like, boom, like, here we go. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, people want to pull forward the time, the expectation, but in reality, if you just take the first 6 months and figure out how to be profitable first, or how to at least break even, then you'll be able to scale and you'll be able to get to a point in the same amount of time without having to like go broke in the meantime. So it's like a great example of that.
yeah. And to your point about making the mistakes, my dividend portfolio, and people can scroll back on the YouTube and find this, like I sized the dividend portfolio too big for what I knew at the time. I was aggressively chasing, from a fear-based perspective, I was aggressively chasing a certain dollar amount per month that I wanted to see come out of the dividend portfolio. And I did not size the overall portfolio like as good as I could have for the more global arching goals like of my family. And I've corrected that like moving forward. I shrunk the amount of multiple things happened at the same time. It was like my confidence in this active element of the Kalshi stuff went up, and my active element of doing other entrepreneurial things like went up. And I'm able to like kind of rewrite size the dividend portfolio to just create a better mix of what I have going on.
Yeah, I mean, that gets into like the whole identity thing too, right? Like, and that's a big conversation that we've kind of worked through, of like this idea that we were both like very much Bitcoiners, and you have this idea that like I own this many Bitcoin, this like of this 21 million. That's the problem with this like scarcity like thing, is that like you're like, oh, well, my piece is this. And you start to sink into this identity layer of like, well, I own 1 Bitcoin, or I own 100 Bitcoin, or I own whatever. And I never don't want to be that guy that I don't want to be the guy that doesn't own 10 Bitcoin or whatever it may be. And because of that, it starts to dilute your process of thinking of like, oh, well, maybe we're about to move into a year-long period where I underperform everything else. And I don't know if I'm ready to deal with that, which, like, I'll be honest, I was not, right? I let that identity layer crush me, to where I've had to make moves that I didn't want to make because I was over allocated in that certain sector. And then the same thing, like you said, you start to get used to a certain number and you're like, oh, well, what would be the monthly amount of dividends that would like cover my nut for my life? And like, God forbid I be under that, right? God forbid
Yeah.
I don't have enough. So yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about the identity layer that you've kind of worked your way out of the other side of, well, both of us at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, just made a video about this morning. I'm gonna upload it after this, and it's basically the Venn diagram of like, dude, I think this goes up above crypto even, like, in the active investing versus the passive investing. Like the active investing maximalists and the passive investing maximalists talk past each other constantly across everything. Like real estate has this, like the growth market guys and the appreciation versus the cash flow guys talk past each other. I think the whole world right now is having a really interesting conversation about like the word trading, the word gambling, the word speculating, the word being investing. Like all of those words are risk taking with the goal of capital accumulation. And we layer on this like emotional baggage onto all of those words. And so, yeah, from an identity perspective, I was like the just buy Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin. The majority of active investing doesn't beat the index. The majority of active, like that language is like it's short. Yeah, it's shorthand for an identity that you have about yourself. And the issue is like when you put like if you believe that holding XYZ passive investment, whether it's Bitcoin or the S&P 500, like whether it's Bitcoin or VLO, if you believe that holding the passive vehicle is the highest return possible for you, then that is going to be like that is the message you're repeating to yourself every day. You're walking around with that belief that the passive vehicle is the highest return. And that worked for a time when Bitcoin was the best performing asset of the last 10 years or whatever. And I think for a lot of people in those years, like I talk about how I never went down the FIRE movement. Like my personal identity was never a part of the FIRE movement. It was never a part of the dividend snowball movement. It was never a part of the drop shipping e-commerce like thing. It was never a part of the like make money online like pre AI people. Like it wasn't ever a part of that because it was Bitcoin. And Bitcoin almost acted as like it almost was like the best of all worlds for that streak of time where it was passive and safe and high performing at the same time, and its performance almost acted as my side hustle during that time. Like I couldn't have made more like see, but again, this is me repeating my story to myself was that Bitcoin was performing higher than any side hustle or any active trading that I could have done during that time. And part of the catalyst for kind of changing my opinion on that has been the underperformance of Bitcoin, but also the just like confidence in myself going up. And so no, it's all like hard and deep. And I think it's fascinating that it does exist like outside of Bitcoin and crypto also.
I think you hit on a point there, like the confidence that you've built from removing yourself a little bit is why people just scream buy Bitcoin. Like now I've basically come around to this idea that everybody thinks there's a cheat code. We're all trying to like remove uncertainty and remove volatility. That Bitcoin gave you this funky answer of like, hey, you don't have to do any work anymore. It's okay. You don't have to work. Like, we've solved the game. It's just another, in a weird way, it's a product by Satoshi. It's a product that has a beautiful sales pitch. And just like the S&P 500, it might just be the product you need to buy, right? But like, I've almost now think it's like cope, because you don't have the confidence. You haven't really realized that you can manage your money in a way that you don't have to take 60% drawdowns to the face just to like be, dude, imagine you're a Bitcoin maxi and you get $100 million and you have agreed to have to weather a $70 million drawdown every 4 years. I don't want that. I don't want to be that guy. And I believe in my abilities to manage my money in a way that I could swerve from 70% drawdowns and live a better life. And I just think, I don't know if maybe I'm articulating it in a way I haven't really thought to myself yet, but like, I think Bitcoin is weirdly a cope play because you're not confident in yourself. It's literally just a new, and you've talked about the Bitcoin is the new S&P 500. It's just a new version with a scarce money, but it's selling you the same story. It's selling you the removal of uncertainty and volatility. Well, it doesn't remove volatility. It's removing uncertainty. It's saying you're going to get a lot of volatility, but don't worry, it's certain.
The Bitcoin holder, so the Bitcoin holder in this paradigm, it doesn't remove volatility, but they have mentally numbed themselves from the volatility. They have removed the volatility from themselves.
True.
And they don't realize they don't realize that they have paid the cost in a different part of their life. They don't realize that. They have paid the cost by not upgrading the kitchen for their partner. They have paid the cost by driving the beater for all the years. Like they have paid the cost by not choosing to go work optional for a random 6 months in between jobs, like because they kept all of that life liquidity. Someone said that the other day on Twitter. The life liquidity, they've kept all of it jammed in the asset, eating the losses, and the volatility has come out in other parts of their life. And you said this to me multiple times of like, the volatility is always there. Everyone is always trying to run from it. You're always trying to run from it. And then and you can package up the products in whatever other way and buy the insurance and do all the things. And I mean, and that's what personal finance is. That's why I talk about Bitcoin personal finance, of like packaging it uniquely for yourself is like, that is what personal finance is. But to be like, oh yeah, this is just the one-stop shop, like this is the promised land. Like, dude, that's why there's so much frustration on the feed when it goes down, because people have put their life on pause. People have put their life on pause, and they saw a number on the screen that their Bitcoin stack was, and their own life and beliefs about themselves have not caught up to where that high number was. And now that number is down, and their personal number is still not changing. Like, and that's why that's the reason why I use the word influence a lot, and because I believe that you have to scale your influence and your beliefs about yourself at the same time as the numbers that you see on the screen.
All so valid. It's so valid. Like every time I have a discussion like this with you, I leave feeling better, but I leave feeling like a little disgusted at myself for buying into so many things, but that's, you got to like run through that process to get out the other side. And, sometimes it just takes pain. It just takes pain, And think about it. Think about the transformative stuff we've seen go across our desk in the last year, right? Real world-changing tech. And everybody that's like a Bitcoin hard ass is just like, why would I bother with SanDisk or whatever, right? Fuck that. You think that's going to outperform Bitcoin over the long term? Well, bro, SanDisk or whatever is worth more than Bitcoin as a market cap now. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you could do both. You can have it all. I love that idea, like a custom. Everybody's different. So why wouldn't we have different personal finance build outs? And like the idea that what's even better about the Bitcoin story is it gives you that contrarian flair, because like S&P is no contrarian flair. It's the accepted consensus thing. But no, I want to be sovereign, man. I want to go fuck the man. And it's like, no, you're buying into the same story but with the like contrarian play. And that's where the volatility comes into play.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just gonna say that. Okay. Oh, look, we just caught one. All right. Let's see. All right. So we caught. So we're on the yes
Explain how this works.
XRP.
Sorry. How's this work?
Yeah. So every contract's 15 minutes. The bot just entered, and now we are. Let me try to expand this. It's over. Okay. Now let's see. Wait, no, it's still 8:59. Here it is. I don't know how to display it on the chart right now, but you can see, okay, we bought 19 contracts at 82 cents. And now as the minutes are ticking down, as the seconds are ticking down to 9 a.m. Pacific, it's looking like it's going to go through, right? So yeah, there's the live position.
Are you manually clicking out of these, or are that you letting it run to the end? Like you're letting it close out?
Yeah, hold the settlement. Hold the settlement.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Here was, yeah, here's that one we just watched. See, yeah, I'm paying the taker fee on the way in, and then hold the settlement.
How does it feel doing this? Like when you have a few work in a row, is it pretty fucking cool?
It's fat, dude. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's like fascinating. And I wake up, I wake up to like the 20 overnight Kalshi fills, and like the first thing I do now is I open up my internal dashboard, and I'm like just prepared for like this morning I no joke woke up to a plus 180 on the daily P&L when I woke up at 5 a.m. So it's on Eastern time. So that's just so fascinating. But I have to mentally prepare myself for like this number. I'm gonna open this app. It's gonna be a minus 80 or a minus 20 or a plus 60 or a plus 180. Like I don't know when I wake up like what it's going to be. And then it's a different type of emotional kind of control thing to like to be like, is this normal variance? Like people have seen me tweet the confidence level, like the 95% confidence level, and you want that bottom level number to at least be positive and not be a minus. And it's a constant question of, is this normal variance or did something change? And then it's a conversation of, and some people have intelligently asked this, they've like, doesn't Perps have more liquidity? And like 100%, absolutely, Perps has more liquidity right now as far as like total volume.
But that could be your edge.
Yeah. Like it's less people are trying to do it because there are less contracts being traded available. There was some really interesting research that's starting to come out that like I do believe the Bitcoin, my most contrarian opinion right now in crypto is that the 15-minute like prediction markets are the most underrated to perps and meme coins. I've been calling it the triangle, the crypto speculation triangle right now: perps, meme coins, and predictions. If you were to just blanket ask everyone out there, like everyone is obsessed with memes and perps. I think predictions are way under talked about, and I actually think it's an easier game to win. Which is, and I explained part of that when I talk about my cash poker analogy versus tournament poker analogy. I think the time-based element
Yeah.
can help a lot of people.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's pretty cool. And so Kalshi Pro basically has some sort of like plugin for a bot. Like, how's that work?
It just has the API docs. So yeah, you would just tell your codex to, well, first you would use my link to get your $25 free
There
money.
you go.
And then you
Yeah.
would say go find the API docs and let's get started. From the AI paradigm perspective for people, yeah, like if you're starting at zero on this, you want to download ChatGPT. I'm a ChatGPT guy. Like, I don't like Claude's attitude and the CEO's attitude and all that stuff. Like, so I would say the ChatGPT MacBook desktop app. And then you have to flip the paradigm of, don't say, hey, tell me how to do this. You say, hey, you go do this. And you say, hey, go find the Kalshi API docs and let's get started. And you can do that for any system. Coinbase, Coinbase, any system.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, yeah, like so for instance, like if you have big firms, like, so I don't know if you know who like Jordy Alexander is, right? These guys who run Selene Capital, or like these big market making firms that work in these perp dex worlds and stuff like that. It's like they're not in here battling you. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the immature market, and effectively, I like to say it this way: it's like you're willing to take the risk, so you're actually, we always say, get hold to pay risk, or you're getting paid to hold risk. This is exactly that. You're willing to step in there, provide liquidity that other people are not willing to do. So because of that, your edge and your potential gain is going to just be worth more money. And the question is, how far can you scale this now and adjust and iterate and iterate and iterate until you basically run into an end boss and you're like, okay, I hit a wall. Now I need to figure out like where to go. But like in the moment, you probably have a few months where like you could push hard and ramp it, right? Because if you get going, I've already seen this on prediction, but like if you get going and you kind of push it, as just keep pushing it as fast as possible, you could end up making $1 million in a month. It could just happen. So
Yeah.
but every trade collapses, right? So it's like, can you push this as far as you can and then believe that when you do run into a wall, that one, you'll admit it and kind of pull back, and two, can you then go build it again and with a slightly different strategy? And that's the key.
Totally. Yes. And I'm trying to climb over that. That's exactly what my mental conversation is there every day right now about. So first off, I think that the whole like edge erosion thing, or like the trade will go away, that is very real and logical. But then also, I think also people use that as an excuse to not get started. And once you learn, so you're saying that from the educated position of years of watching things work and then not work, and then watching things work and not, which is good. So there's 100% truth in that. And then for right where I am live right now, like on the screen, these 7 cryptos, I am pushing volume on and measuring if EV is decreasing. And then these 3 commodities, gold, silver, and WTI, this is greenfield that I don't have heavy confidence on it working yet. So I'm back at lower volume, building the initial. And from a keeping myself organized perspective, just like, again, back to the whole codex thing, pinning your chats, and I label them on like what it is. And then I wake up and like, to me, codex is now my Slack, like I I feel personally more like a business than I ever have. And I have my day of I do my stuff online in the morning and talk to people and gather information and spread information. And then I try to turn that off and I try to go deep with Codex and work forward on each of these things I'm working on. And then in the afternoon, I like try to practice like shutting it off and, you know, doing the kids stuff. And so, but just, yeah, I have commodities right now is now my new greenfield that I need to prove to myself that I can recreate the magic and the momentum that I have going.
Yeah, and that's great because they're probably constantly getting new markets and stuff, right? So it's if you could figure out
It's
how to come into new ones and figure it out quick.
Yeah, and I believe the 15-minute markets are going to continue to become the standard. Like Polymarket, these 7 crypto are going to become, these 7 are the ones, if you go look at Polymarket's marketing about their 15-minute contracts, these are the 7 that they are calling out. And so these are the 7 that I believe are going to grow in volume across Kalshi and Polymarket. And then Polymarket also has 5-minute now as well. And so from a roadmap perspective, my ranking right now is like continuing the momentum on Kalshi, building out commodities on Kalshi, and then in theory, just like hope, like then I want to be ready to go when Polymarket brings the 15 minutes to the United States app. Because right now it's not in the United States app.
Right. Did you just create and connect a fresh wallet to that API and Codex and all that and say like, all right, I'm going to fund this wallet and this is what's going to execute on Kalshi?
Yeah, they'll let you make sub accounts. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like if I was ever gonna do it myself, am I like creating a fresh wallet for the bot to?
No, there's no crypto element to it. The bot doesn't actually have to interact with the Kalshi ACH. It's regular dollars. But this actually is a good question. This actually, it's regular dollars. But actually, this brings up a good point, and I want to talk to you about on-chain too, because it's on-chain bull season, is what some people are saying. But no, the paradigm for people is I'm learning both at the same time. Kalshi is regular dollars, United States regulated, like is what it is, where you ACH into it and you ACH out of it, and then you use an API and your KYC like at Kalshi, and they use an API credential, right? So, but then I did the same thing, and I was like, okay, let me recreate this entire paradigm, but let's use Solana like straight up. And I was like, I wrote out this whole thing, and I was like, hey, Ansem, like I buy the thesis of Ansem being the best meme coin, creator coin of this new paradigm of what we have going on. Okay, I want to like fund a wallet with 100 USDC, and I wanted to trade $5 lots of Ansem with the goal of accumulating Ansem passively. So I wrote out this entire prompt, and I was like, hey, go out and do this on chain. On this one, Codex, along with the MacBook, created a fresh Solana wallet, this is the whole thing. AI is going to make crypto self-custody easier. It's not going to make crypto self-custody harder. It's not going to break crypto self-custody. It's going to make it easier. MacBooks and Apple equipment already solved private keys, guys. So just let your AI work with the Apple hardware. You don't have to do weird Rube Goldberg crypto custody stuff. Created it, and then went out to Meteor and went out to Orca and began trading like the lots. And so so I'm running both these systems in parallel of like, here's the quote unquote TradFi API gated agent driven finance way of doing it, and here's the on-chain straight up way of doing it.
Yeah. Fascinating. Super cool. Something I'll probably look into a little bit.
What
I want this. Yeah, I was just gonna say I want everything to be just regulated. I really do. Like I just want to be done with this whole like, in America, out of America thing. Like it's so annoying. having to get up
It is
every
annoying.
single day and fly to Mexico and fly home, fly to Mexico and fly home. Like it's frustrating.
Yeah. No, it's stupid. It's stupid and dumb. I wanted to ask you about the systematic, like, yeah, what has been your experience over the years with your story of transitioning, like from poker to the futures trading, and then being in the real like Chicago desk and like that stuff? What was your relationship with systematic quantitative stuff over that journey? Did you know guys doing it? What was it like?
Yeah, there were
Have
definitely
you ever
pods
automated
of
anything that you've done?
no, I'm fully discretionary, meaning just like manual in and out. And like before AI, it felt so out of touch, like impossible. Like if you didn't have a coding background, like you weren't like a math genius, why would you even bother? Like it's just so, but now it's starting to be like, well, like I think you might be able to you could get a lot of the coding done for you, and it starts to become more of an art than a science. And if you start giving me the chance to be artistic, like I'm a lot more open to it now. But yeah, like our firm had half the traders were quants and teams and algorithmic builders and all that. And then half of us were click traders, just manual discretionary traders. So I sat in my quarter, they sat in their quarter, and we lived our
Real
lives.
real quick, you guys can see on the screen this one lost. So it bought 20 contracts at 46, and we wanted it to be down, and now we're above the white line. So that's a classic loss.
So do you think, since we're in a day where the market is moving at a pace that's a little more furious, that it's going to throw a little bit of a weirdness into the strategy at all because it's more of a trending market and not in a range?
My answer is I don't know yet. My answer
Yeah.
is
Perfect. That's a
my
perfect
answer
answer. Yeah.
Yeah, my answer is I lean that it doesn't matter, but like it will matter. But it will matter when it gets more competitive. And when I level up as a quantitative trader and a systematic trader, because basically you asking me, is there a information relationship between some higher time frame and what's going on with the system? The answer is probably yes, but my answer is I don't know what that information relationship is. So like, is there a higher arching way of thinking about it? Like 100%. Is there a way to encodify that in a rule set to up the expected value of what the system is doing? That's like exactly the magic of the thing, which is back to your story of those guys sat in one corner, you sat in one corner. Did you guys ever get lunch together, or what? Like, was it truly just don't talk to those
No,
guys?
I don't fucking talk to those guys. I don't want to be a nerd, you know?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like to me, it makes a lot of sense that like, hey, if we're breaking trend, like it should be vol adjusted, basically. Like if
Mm-hmm.
volatility is increasing either up or down, or sorry, if it's increasing,
Yep.
whether the price is going up or down, your range of expectations should adjust like alongside that, right? And I assume that's
Yes.
something you've thought about, but like there's this guy out there. Do you know Mando?
No.
Mando is like a pretty well-known, respected crypto guy. He's
Yeah.
also part of like he's a builder too, but like he's been doing this box trading. I don't know what that means, but some sort of automated box trading. It's somewhat similar to this, but he basically, he's been crushing it. He's up like seven figures and just like um he's been trading it fairly in a range, but he's been thinking like, okay, it's working really well in this range, but as momentum and volatility shifts, I want to basically be lowering my risk because there's going to be he's thinking through all this,
Mhm.
which is where like the art comes into play. Um And, you know, I think so many strategies are built on a regime. And once that regime breaks, it's like it's not malleable. It's not right. And you have to have like different regime things. So I don't know. It gets my head spinning on like, all right, you know, immature market, volatility, expansion, and contraction. There's got to be like great opportunity in there, you know. And if you can now build it, you could take a week
Yeah.
and go back and forth and get some sort of thing that actually kind of makes sense. I'm like, oh, like that actually seems maybe attainable now. Whereas like it used to be this enigma that like only the
You,
smart people could touch.
well, yeah. Or so I was listening to this book called by Ernest Chan about quantitative trading, and it's fascinating listening to the pre AI because there was the yeah, previously, like back when you were at that firm, and if you would have had to explain the entry and the exit and the everything that's going on in your head, you would have had to explain that to a software engineer. And then the software engineer would have had to explain it to the computer. And that iteration cycle of everything in your head getting into the engineer's head who probably doesn't know anything about finance, and then it getting to the computer correctly, and then you watching the outcome and like iterating on that is like, yeah, that's
It's like
now
telephone,
wild.
right? It's
Yeah,
like
completely.
telephone. And then
And
you
that's
know
why
that
then if
every
people listen to the
change.
yeah, and
Go
then
ahead.
people listen to the Jim Simons book. So go out and people that are interested in this,
Mhm.
like listen to the Jim Simons book about the man who beat the market. Um, and he goes through all of that of the math professor that gets into finance that like as computer science is like being built out and as like large computer generated data work is like being built out, they would have software engineers on staff and constantly be like tinkering with it. Yeah, that game, yeah, it's like what that game of telephone was extremely hard to figure out.
Yeah, not only that, it's like if you knew a slight change would take a month, even if deep down you felt like, oh, we really need this change, you'll just like not do it because you'll be like, well, that'll take so long that like, you know, I'll just let it go, even if it's minus EV. But now you can make that change within a 10-minute, like just back and forth, you know?
100%.
Like
That was
the
the thing I was
speed
going to
of
say when you brought
iteration.
up the word regime change. That's what made me think about the Ernest Chan book because he was thinking he would talk a lot about how uh because then some newer systems came out, like one was called Math Lab or like Python, like a lot of independent software engineers would you could start, then you got into the world of like you could kind of teach yourself Python and kind of like copy and paste stuff. And in that world, you had a constant thing every day of am I losing money because the model is broken or is my software broken? Like is the actual math broken or is just the software expression of the
Mhm.
math broken or is there a market regime change? And you
Yeah.
would have a constant that then is where the emotional aspect of it then like is on well which one of those three things do you think is broken and figuring out which one is like really hard.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of unlocks there, and I think it's good that you're exploring it. I think I'm gonna take some time and explore it myself. I'll have to say, like I've told you before, I don't love Kalshi or Polymarket. Like I don't love what they are. I don't love that, but I don't love a lot of companies that
You don't love that they're
extract
helping the
that
ice entrepreneur, James. They're helping the ice cream store entrepreneur hedge the weather. They're hedging small business income.
maybe that's their goal. I don't think that's happening whatsoever. I think they're extracting from the demise of our culture. I think we have so many culturally like fucked things. Like the type of like you get into like the girls like the stats with OnlyFans, the idea that like clout is the only thing that matters and that the kind of more weird non-nice things you do, the better off you are. I just like so many areas where we've moved into are this like disgust me, and Kalshi and Poly Market are perfect
So
examples to me. I should be careful if I ever did want to actually partner with them or something, but like I have a tough time with it.
so okay, here's how I think it's all connected with the best optimism that I have is that everything is connected. The Bitcoin concept of fix the money, fix the world is there still is a kernel of logic in there. And the like societal problems are downstream of the fiat money problem, and the K-shaped economy is downstream of the fiat money problem. Okay, that say you agree with that kernel of truth, and say that kernel of truth is like moving forward. Then right below that is you get the like Michael Saylor and the like refining Bitcoin volatility into consistent yield so that pension funds and retirees and fixed income can get fixed at the corporate finance level, and private credit markets are not all about real estate. They now have this other stuff that makes them more able to survive over time and more consistent for people to pay higher rates, right? And then that trickles into fixing the United States treasuries at the very end of that. Okay, say that fixes all of that. You have that narrative, right? And then you have the Ansem and Thread Guy narrative of the like speculation is the only way to make it. Traders are the new celebrities. Traders are at least better
Oh my
than TV
God.
stars and sports stars because you can teach people how to make money, right? Okay, so then you have that.
Yeah.
So then your choice, and then you have, and then the other part of the internet is the like the boring business, the non-sexy business, boring business, the like dude, what if you just hang it up and own a tire shop, or like your kids should just become electricians because electricians are going to make 250K a year again, because we need real stuff in the real world, right? Like all three of those things are happening. Okay, they all are connected. And this thing of the money gets fixed, fix the money, fix the world. Bitcoin digital credit like fixes all of the debt stuff going on in the world, and then financial markets like get brought on chain and solve all of the like extraction elements of private equity, because the problem with the like just own tire shop thing is that's all driven by private equity in the same the same guys now anyways. Is that when you just release private credit, you just sell it to investors, and then you go up and swoop up all the small businesses, that undermines the story of like, oh, when Bitcoin fixes the money, then you'll just be able to go be an entrepreneur again. And it's like all the kids don't want to be entrepreneurs anyways because they just want the like lottery ticket influencer like thing online. So it's all connected. And the through line is that Bitcoin digital credit is the leading thing of on-chain finance. I guess that's my conclusion. My conclusion of saying all that is I think that there still is a little bit of like a Bitcoin, call them the reformed Bitcoin maximalists. So like the less annoying Wall Street Bitcoin maximalists and the on-chain influencer guys, they still are not quite realizing that it's actually the same thing. And like Michael Saylor talking about like stretch on chain on Solana, like I'm not sure that Ansem and Thread Guy and those guys have like fully grasped that it is the same thing, and they're busy doing the meme coin thing. I guess there's something there.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I just feel like everybody is in their wheelhouse. They've figured out how to extract from their wheelhouse, and I just feel like we keep going the wrong direction rather than back. I think we need more people. I just like go back to the whole like back in my Jordan Peterson era of like cleaning up your own room. I just feel like nobody focuses on that. Um, Even the people who do focus on it start to extract by selling toughness and sales and like this hard thing and like becoming a hybrid athlete and everything. I don't know. I've lost the plot a little bit on the this just gets into like the faith in humanity type of situation. And I just now that it's like one of those things where if like, oh, I never saw that car before, but now that I think about that car, I see it all the time. It's like the same thing to me with people is like I hadn't thought about it before, but now that I see extraction and just like everybody out for themselves, I see it in everything, you know.
I think the other thing that Kalshi is going to do is it's going to force, like, if you're talking on CNBC and you have an opinion, you should have to escrow your opinion. Like the same, like I'm talking on the screen right now and I'm showing where the money is. If you are talking on CNBC that you believe the Clarity Act is going to pass, okay, where is your $100,000 staked on the Clarity Act passing? Go ahead and put that on the screen right now. Like, because when I see Cynthia Lummis, when I see all these people talking on TV about like the vote is this week, the vote is this week, I'm like, guys, it's not. It's not. And so I posted my, hey guys, like here's my $10 that says it's not happening this week. Like at least I'm showing $10 that I don't think it's happening this week. Like where is there anything? And I think Kalshi is going to be a big thing. We just caught another one. I think Kalshi is going to be a big thing in the midterms this year. All right, so we bought 100 contracts at 76 cents. We're at 78 cents. Let's try to zoom out and get the live. All right, we want to get above do we want to get above the line? Yeah, we want to get above the line. And then
because you want
W's in the chat. Right? W's in the chat for above the line.
Stay above the line. Close it out. Dude, that's like a sweat every time, huh? You get a little like 10-second countdown, yeah. Go.
It is.
Oh, go.
Look, a 30%, 30.9%.
Look at it rip.
Yeah.
Did it close out? Not yet. Oh, look at it go.
We're still, there it is. Do we get it?
That's got to be a good one, right?
Yeah, that was that was $19, 25%. We bought it at 76 cents. Yeah, that was a good one.
You guys are seeing the most frontier solopreneur trading right here, you know? Tell you that much. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's just cool stuff. By the way, like I don't know if we're like we're pumping bags here. We're on stream and we're finally pumping some bags, which is nice. How about we finish with this since you brought it up. What is your opinion on strategy and Saylor and where they find themselves at the moment?
Yeah. So I start all the way back up at there still is a kernel of truth in fix the money, fix the world. Bitcoin is better than fiat money. I still run the fiat money in my office. That still is directionally, like, I believe from a just passion perspective and from a logical perspective that every fiat money has like lost value over time and has produced bad things for individuals. That then circles up to, and my opinion about that has always been big tent Bitcoin, of like, Bitcoin is for enemies. This is going to be the biggest neutral thing in the world. So obviously lots of different types of people are going to be banging on this from lots of different angles and calling it lots of different things across the entire thing. So even like David Bailey and all those people like backing Trump and like doing that whole thing, that eventually was going to happen. And I think that Bitcoin investors in the United States are eventually going to be held on the same pedestal that real estate investors are. Real estate investors get incredible carve-outs and are incredibly respected, even though people hate landlords and whatever. There's a segment of people that hate landlords or whatever. Still, from a money perspective and from an influence and clout perspective, if your son or daughter was like, hey, I'm going to go be a real estate developer, in most towns, like, that's a respected thing of like, hey, I'm going to go study real estate development at USC or whatever. Like, so I'm just saying from that perspective, commercial real estate is a respected thing in the United States. Bitcoin is going to be a respected thing in the United States. So directionally, that's all happening. At the same time, Saylor's influence as a person and his ability to talk has hit a ceiling. His total addressable market that his words are convincing to has smashed head first into a ceiling. So he is at a local top as a person. And what we're seeing with strategy is that right now. So you're seeing all the other Bitcoin heel biters that are on a different element of Bitcoin Twitter. They are trying to heel bite because they don't want to lose their insider status as the talking head that they were back when Bitcoin was a weird side thing back in the Biden era. Now, and so we have that, and we have the frustration with all the treasury codes and all that stuff. So now we're at a time where all those guys got their influence bloodied. Like Saylor influence is down, Pomp influence is down, David Bailey influence is down. But at the same time, all the freaking cold card guys are down bad and worse, and they are more out of touch with reality.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin itself didn't go to 45K. So everyone got bloodied and set back, but there wasn't a time when it was like so over, in my opinion. This is the shallowest bear market in the history of Bitcoin. And now what's happening out of this is there is a turf war effectively for the new version of the Bitcoin talking heads. And you have the like nerdy digital credit guys. You have the like MicroStrategy in-house guys, and you have the I think Pomp is like the big mainstream like trying to just making man on the street YouTube video, just like the most high level.
Yeah.
Orange
Not loving
blanket,
the new.
go up.
I'm not loving. I was liking where he was headed, and I'm not loving this new arc. I'll be honest.
And so you have that, and then you have a research and there's yet to be seen what the on-chain finance and Bitcoin crossover is going to be. Because there's a couple, like if you look at APYX and you look at Parker from APYX, like he's a good like at the intersection of Solana and digital credit guy. There's some interesting stuff happening there. But to your original question just about Saylor, I think his personal local influence is at a ceiling, but structurally the digital credit thing working out is like going to work out. And I do think he is the new, I think he is the new Warren Buffett, and strategy is going to be the new Berkshire Hathaway. And like Bitcoin, I think both stories are linked together. Like there isn't a world where Bitcoin goes to $1 million and he isn't the largest company in the world. And I believe Bitcoin's going to $1 million. So I do like both are linked.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Of he's kind of topped out on his influence. The thing that I can't help but think with MSTR and the whole complex is I see it as polarity. I see it either working, and it would effectively work so well, and they have so much Bitcoin that it would drive Bitcoin to like the numbers that everybody thinks is crazy. The other option is that they basically end up having to capitulate. I don't really see a middle ground. Maybe for the next few years, but like I don't see a middle ground here where like, oh, MSTR and Stretch just like casually picks up some money, casually trades off, casually picks up some money, and it's just another asset. Like I just either feel like it's going to work as planned, and that's just going to constantly drive massive like gains in that entire Bitcoin ecosystem, or I just see it. I don't see how it could just work in like normally, because like the common stock with the dilution, like I just like it just seems like that the whole structure breaks if like digital credit doesn't work. And if digital credit does work, they have such a massive treasury that keeps amplifying itself through it. Like it keeps issuing more, backing it up more, issuing more, backing it up more, issuing more. That I'm like, it's just like so reflexive. Then the scarcity comes into play, like, and that's where I think Bitcoin just goes. But like, I'm really struggling to see it because like I still like the idea, and I actually think like I'm actually have a chunk in Strike. Like I think Strike is
Yep.
it's so slept on.
Yep.
And I think if this works, that Strike becomes so insanely valuable.
I
You know,
So the curve is still cluttered. Remember the very first True North thing like we sat at together? In my opinion, the Bitcoin yield curve is cluttered and there's too many. So I think that the concept of digital credit is directionally correct. I think the Bitcoin yield curve needs to be cleaned up. I think that the Bitcoin only exchanges and the Bitcoin only fintech companies need to get wiped out and consolidated because they're shitty companies. And Coinbase and Robinhood, and Kraken and Kalshi is gonna like run off with it and be like the hopefully FOMO freaking adds the ability to buy Bitcoin with Apple Pay the same way you can buy the meme coins with Apple Pay. Like so I think I think the exchanges are gonna level up and get better. I think the reason why I think that's attached then to strategy is because the treasury codes, the worst ones, are gonna get wiped out and consolidated and roll back up. And then another thing that's slept on is like SpaceX has Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Like there is this element still of like we are on a long multi-year story of corporations having Bitcoin on the balance sheet becoming normalized. El Salvador is still buying 1 Bitcoin a day. Like and I've ran into like Southern California like dad El Salvador guys that like know about Bukele, know about the bet that he made on it. They believe like if El Salvador is able to actually give the middle finger to the IMF, like actually, and it becomes the bank of all of South America, and it starts refinancing all of South America on Bitcoin backed credit, like that. So everything is working. We just still have the overhang of the shitty versions of it out there.
yeah, and this is one of those things where like I'm pretty with you here, but it's like we've taken so many steps back when it comes to the positivity of crypto in normie land. Like I was just talking yesterday on stream, I was like, I'm the proverbial joke of my entire community when it comes to what I do. It's so
Yeah.
funny because it's like you're kind of not taken seriously, but at the same time, there's a like people kind of admire what you're doing. Like, but they would never do it themselves because deep down they're like, oh, like I actually would never want to do that. That's kind of sad in a way, right? But at the same time, they're like, they kind of think it's cool that you have like freedom and autonomy and stuff like that. And I'm like, the fact that like I'm the crypto guy is just shows me like if I say the word crypto, if I just like walked up to a guy in my neighborhood and I was like, what do you think of crypto? Immediately that guy is like 10 years away from buying a Bitcoin. You know what I mean? He's so it was like it was only 1 month in 2017. In 2021 it was like 1 day from buying some crypto because it was so popular. And then now I think it's 10 years, not 10 maybe, but like it's 4 or 5 years of consistent good returns before that guy buys back in. But like maybe they're not the guy, you know, maybe it's got to be the youth, right? But then you got the problem with the youth doesn't have money and the youth cares about the dumb shit.
So okay, so Rasmer, and I'm sorry if I sound like a boomer talking about these guys or whatever, but like there's something here. And I've been trying to push myself to like, dude, I downloaded the FOMO app. I downloaded the Pump app. Like I'm trying to watch the streams and you guys are like on the streaming like every day. Rasmer tweeted something of like, it was something like, oh, married 9-to-5 guy says he doesn't have time to trade meme coins all day and like the throw up emoji or something like that. And I was just like, bro, like what? Like I don't like the like this is something at the heart of your thing of like, and to the Jordan Peterson, like, clean up your own house. Like before, before homeboy, like before suburb other dad guy that's holding VLO and then SpaceX to get wild. Before that guy respects what's happening here, me and you and freaking Rasmer need to get on the same page. And I don't appreciate that crypto, like douchebag single bro Miami bros are the ones on the internet, like with the loudest voices. Like
Yeah.
that, you know what? And again, on the one hand, I respect that, like, 'cause that is the game, like doing the thing and the whatever. But on the other hand, I'm also like, there isn't enough of the overlap of the like normal suburb dad finance guy that is actually seeing around the corner and the like crypto meme trade guy. And there's something there. And I especially even just bringing it back locally to like LA, I would love to see the meme coin LA scene and the suburb dad alternative finance scene work together better.
I agree, but this is where it gets into like the incentives are misaligned. We put the wrong things on a pedestal. The people that have gotten to 40 years old understand that maybe that's probably not the most fulfilling thing. So they say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be Rasmer. I'm not going to go represent our thing. That's not my thing, right? So given that the world has gone towards clip farming and like attention, the youth, the ones that are willing to actually get out there and do it, they capture the audience, and then that captures marketing dollars, and then it just spins them up, and it leaves the people with like some wisdom and some baseness out of the picture. And then we complain about them. We complain about like Rasmer. I don't know yesterday whether or not, I'm going to guess he found himself in a little bit of a pickle. He's trying to reverse it and act like he's playing 4D chess or whatever, but he basically had this clip yesterday about the sending the girl money. Did you see that?
No.
Okay. So it was going around Twitter where basically he was on his stream and he was like, yeah, like I'm up right now, like, you know, and I was like, my girl, like, that I was with for a while, like, she cheated on me and she broke up with me, but I don't even thinking about her anymore. And like today, I was like, fuck it, I opened up Apple Pay and I sent her 1,500. I just like sent her 1,500 just to be like, fuck you, just to be like, look what you're missing out on. And I was like, as a 38-year-old guy, I was like, oh, like, you do get that that's like even worse, right? Like that's literally like proving like so much of the opposite things that you're trying to do here, right? And I don't know if he got that. I'm like, hey, if you can play that card and like fool me and you're trying to get like attention, like props, like you did it. But I just don't think you did. But like that to me shows that like all of our thoughts at that age are rooted in the wrong direction, and we don't have like the leadership or the representatives to like shift that. And like Ansem could do it. He has the clout and he has a little bit more wisdom, and he's like a smart guy, and like he doesn't fall prey to that stuff. And I'm like, dude, you like, he has the opportunity to be that like strong leader, like the pomp too, but like yeah, so you're right, like you're saying there's something there, but it's like gotta change just a little bit because we keep rewarding the wrong things and not rewarding enough of the right things. Like the kimchi guy. I don't know if you've heard of the kimchi guy. He's like this Asian meme coin guy who won like 40 or 50 million on the Trump coin and then kind of just like dipped out, right? He's got this aura, this motion. He's like this skinny Asian kid. And there was this story that they were talking about on Market Bubble. Again, an instance where I was like, this story isn't cool. Like, it's not cool. And it was like Banks was going out to dinner and Kimchi was like going to roll through. And he came and it was like a nice dinner. And Kimchi came and he like showed up. He like sat there. He didn't eat anything. He was kind of quiet. And then like Banks like went to the bathroom or something. And then the kid just left. and everybody's like, oh, that's so sick, that's such like a power move or whatever, and I'm like, that's not something to like aspire to be. Like, to me, that's it's and like it was said, and it's like, oh, that's like how you should act. You should roll up in a Maybach or whatever and like flex a watch and like don't even say hi and then leave. Like, I'm
Yeah.
saying I get it,
So-
but I'm saying it's the wrong thing to get.
So, okay, from my part of the internet, I read those things just as tweets, but I thought they were memes. I thought someone was just writing that story to be funny of like something, but like the fact that that happened, then yeah, puts a different perspective on it. And here's something on the front end, like Poor Goat or whatever. Pretty sure Poor Goat like lives in like has like Solangelis like in his thing. Or and here's another thing. Like I bought cryptomecula like .com. Like and I've been like Solana Beach. Solana Beach is like right down the road. Like so this whole thing of like owning the geography and being okay with showing up in person. Yeah, there's something there. And I want to like I would love to like hit up Porgo and like go to my buddy like crypto guy like met through crypto YouTube, owns a sushi restaurant like in LA, and I'm like, dude, like let's like I want to talk like what's the mission, like what is the mission to like onboard all of LA and all of Southern California to like alternative finance that like fixes the world and solves this K-shaped economy and all that stuff. Like dude, I like let's talk about it. But I don't know if that would be received well or not, or if that's just like if I'm the boomer that's like, you know, hey kids or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how old any of these guys are or whatever. And it's not just an age thing either. It's like it's an internet culture. This is what influence is. If crypto is going to become the influential thing that can if the stock market is actually going to go on chain, okay? If the stock market is going to actually go on chain, and what is happening with FOMO and Pump and these guys is actually a V1 of the entire stock market going on chain, correct. That pathway to get there is these hybrid guys learning how to have private dinners with the edge case suburb dad that's down but hasn't done anything yet. Well, it's quiet now. You're quiet now.
Sorry. Yeah, like I think it's interesting, like the whole idea of like you and Poor Goat, right? It's like two different worlds. Actually, Poor Goat, I listened to him. He's like actually a normal person with a job. But let's just say you and Rasmer, right? Like you're meeting up for like a thing. It's like I almost feel like the old person has to like stunt on the younger person in a way that's not like it almost I don't know how to say it. It almost puts them into a place where they realize they're not focused on the right things, right? It's not
Correct.
the fancier high-rise apartment. It's not the watch. It's not the four-course meal. It's showing in a way that's subtly basically showing what truly is flexing in life, but in a way that's not, it's inspirational. It's not like putting them down.
It's the P&L, dude, and this is where, and this to your credit, or Global Flows, remember, would say like just saying you bought Bitcoin 10 years ago is not cool. That's also awkward and dumb in its own way. That story, there's no aura in that story that then leads to any of these kids to give a shit about what you think about finance, which is why you are in a really interesting position of your actual OG-ness of the poker and the futures trading has that overlap story that I believe the P&L of the actual trading is. This is what I believe Ansem and Fred guy get right about the trading as the new celebrities thing of that, and the whole thing of like the only thing that matters now is aura and money. Like your career doesn't matter. Like your aura and money is what matters. I do think your career still matters a little bit. Like I still think you can like quote unquote build aura or whatever from having an interesting corporate career. But this is then circling back to me. I almost need Kalshi to work in order to pay the dues into the dinner right now, because the meme coin guy is going to be like, so again, sweet, bro, that you bought Bitcoin 10 years ago. But like, what does that have to do with like making it today? It's literally the same thing as boomers being like, oh, like I bought a house for one income back in the day for $80,000, and then it became $1 million house. Like that's the way that Bitcoiners are coming across, and I'm trying to change the brand of Bitcoin personal finance and active and passive investing combined, and the concept of like building a like 30s and 40s year old brand on the internet. It like all of that is an interesting thing that's happening. Another thing that I believe, another signpost I believe that's going to happen on something like this is Ansem needs to be a guest on a YouTube show like Colin and Samir. Like Colin and Samir are an example of a YouTube show filmed in Southern California that covers like the quote unquote creator economy or whatever. So if he's really
Yeah, I remember them.
if he's really running the course of like, this is the new creator coin, and he is going to be the new, more mature version of the Jake Paul and Logan Paul and all of that stuff. And like crypto is going to redeem itself in the eyes of all of the people that got burned by all of the dumb BitBoy stuff and all of the bullshit like crypto things over the years. Like that's going to be a signpost, is when YouTubers, non-crypto YouTubers, have a respect for crypto YouTubers, is going to be a signpost, because right now they don't. They're like the Graham Steffens, the Ryan Pinedas, all of real estate YouTube, all of dividend snowball YouTube. They don't give a shit about crypto.
No, because they've only heard, how it's ruined people, basically. Yeah, I agree.
And the douchey, and that's why the douchey clips don't help anybody, because real estate investor, financial freedom guy doesn't like Miami bro sending girls money, bro.
Brickle bro is not the favorite. And yeah, hopefully crypto will get a new life force in it, and I'm seeing better production and quality come from some space, like the when shift happens guy, right? Like they're taking this seriously. They're moving forward. They're not paying attention to any of that stuff. And I feel like that stuff can hit mainstream so hard with the quality that like it will overtake the clip farmers. It will overtake them because it's way more palpable to that person you're talking about. So we got a lot of positives ahead of us, but I think in the bear markets, the only people left are like these kids, and those are going to be the guys that suck up all the clout when nothing's going well. And then when you escape the bear market, they're going to have a head start. Now at the end, I think they get overtaken. But for now, they're exactly the ones with the attention. They're the ones getting the deals, and that is what it is. So I'm trying my part. You're trying your part. We'll figure it out.
One closing thought on that is that the other element of this is the in-house marketing teams. So I was inside multiple Bitcoin fintechs on the marketing side. Though the people that pay out the sponsorship dollars don't always quite understand the dynamics of everything we're talking about either. And some of those people leveling up just a little bit better and allocating the dollars just a little bit better will help be a part of things shifting also.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I'm thinking about that stuff. Like as I stream more and stuff, I'm like, who would be interesting representation, right? Who would be good partnerships? Who is helping push this space forward in a positive manner, in a more maybe mature way, right? And there's a lot of those people out there. There really are. We have to have a breadth in our ecosystem. We need to be reborn a little bit here and get that interest back, and then it'll all work itself out.
Definitely agree. Dude, good stuff today.
All right. Well, I'll be seeing you in about a week or a little less than a week for some IRL fun. And until then, guys, go follow Brian on X or YouTube. Just his name. You'll find him. I'll show it to you after I switch off here. So Brian, you could just hit leave, and I'll catch you next Monday, I think.
Perfect. See you later, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
All right, we're back. We're back. If you guys want to see Brian's YouTube channel, this is it right here. Oh. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got it there. There we go. Brian's YouTube channel right here. He's got a ton of great videos on Bitcoin, personal finance, yield, stuff like that. He's a great guy. Lives in Temecula. Really interesting dude. Let's go check out where markets have been over the last couple of hours. I feel like we've been doing our job getting things in the right place in the crypto streets. So yeah, we're sitting around 68.5. We had a couple paths we were looking at here. I want the green path, guys. We're seeing a broad push. This is kind of what I was saying. If we could get Bitcoin to sustain a bid here, close today, close the week above 68, I think you're going to see this continue everywhere across the board here. Memes, alts, revenue coins, privacy coins, the whole gambit, MSTR complex. You're seeing that breakout too. Drop down to a day here. All right. That could run up to 120 or whatever. You could see their preferreds bidding, all the other adjacent stuff. Circle, I think I saw coin is up a 13%. That looks pretty good. Hood still looks nice. IGV pumping, stocks just kind of chilling. So this is what I like to see, honestly. What I like to see. So, guys, if you wanted me to look at anything else before I take off for the day, let me know. I'll probably hang on another 5 minutes. Then I'll go trade. I'm going to edit that scaling video and try to get it up by... I'll try to get up by today or by tomorrow morning. Oracle. Go look. Yeah, I still own Oracle. I still like the story. It was rough, but once it got super loud narrative-wise, I luckily bought a little bit more down near, I don't remember, it was like 100, 110 or something like that. Let's go take a peek. Yeah, so I started buying Oracle back when we talked about it on stream on Global Flows. Kind of, we were talking to like back around here. Obviously, it went really well for a while, and then had its massive kind of, we'll call it like a, I don't know if you want to call it like a credit stress, credit crunch situation, where they're at the forefront of spending on AI, kind of people misunderstanding what they are, IGV falling apart, the SaaS apocalypse, all of that just pouring on to Oracle. And then I bought a little bit more. I think I bought a little bit more here and then right at the lows here. So I'm still hanging in there. I still like it somewhat long term. We'll see what happens, you know? We will see what happens. I still think there's some great stuff for it to come. You know, I don't know. It's part of my portfolio like anything else. Like if it were to go the next 4 or 5 months and not be moving, I would probably have to consider just being like, all right, you know, I cave, but I expect some sauce to come out of it. Cool. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed today. It was a good talk with Brian. Like I said, I'm going to be chilling, trading, going over markets, catching up on the news. What I would normally do on a trading day, you know? For Duolingo, Intuit, yeah, like I mean, all those are like data companies. I think like software that could, if they make the proper shift or whatever. Intuit's probably gonna be fine if that's Intuit. I think they have such like a data moat for a lot of what they do that they'll be fine. I don't know what what is CRM? Oh, Salesforce. Yeah, that too. I think those will all be fine. It comes out of opportunity cost, right? Do you want to hold those? Or you want to hold something else? Right? Reef, GG. So anyways, yeah, I'll keep doing this. I'll keep bringing people on. If there's people you want to see on X or YouTube or whatever, let me know. I can reach out to them. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go edit videos now. I will catch you guys probably tomorrow. See you later.